All right, everybody. Welcome back to Pinstripe Talk. I am your host, Anthony Simeone. Welcome back to the show. We'll be breaking down everything going on in the world of the New York Yankees. We got the Mets series, the Indians series. Yankees didn't get Keuchel, so we got to talk about that. But I do hear they have interest in other pitchers, which you'll definitely be interested to hear about, because there's some big names. There's some big names out there, and if the Yankees can lend any of them, they'll definitely help this rotation. Now seeing that Herman's out, but that'll all be for later in the show. But for right now, we're going to go into the first series, the Indians. Yankees and Indians had a 3-game set in Cleveland, and, well, it didn't go the way the Yankees expected. I mean, after they played so well for so long, they won so many series. I think they won 13 out of 14 and 7 or 8 in a row, and then they go out and play Cleveland. And, I mean, the Indians haven't played well this year, but they're a good team. They got great hitters who aren't playing up to their potential, and they got very good pitching, who some of it's hurt, even though Clevenger's just coming back today or tomorrow, which is good because I have my fantasy team, so I'll enjoy that boost in production. But as of right now, let's go into that Cleveland series. Starting with Game 1. Yankees lost Game 1 5-2. They had a early lead, 2-run lead going into the fourth, 2-1. Then the fifth inning, 2-2. And then it was all Indians from that point forward with a 5-2 Indians victory. Now, Yankees didn't play bad. Hicks hit a home run. They just didn't get a lot of hits. They had 6 hits total. Frazier had 2 hits, which is always good to see. 2 hits for Didi, his first game back. Didi is a huge piece of this Yankees team, a well-needed left-handed bat, and the added bonus of a premier fielding shortstop. Even though Didi hasn't played well at shortstop, he's been sort of lackluster in his play in the field, but I do not believe that'll affect him long-term. He's just come back, so I don't personally believe that'll hinder him in any way, shape, or form in the coming months of the season. But Domingo Germán started this game for the Yankees, and it wasn't the best Germán we've seen. Let's call a spade. It wasn't. Germán pitched 6 innings, gave up 4 runs. That's not Domingo Germán. Although David Hale did come in and pitch 2 innings, only give it up 1 run, and the 1 hit he gave up. So it's good to see out of a guy who really shouldn't be on this team right now to be pitching so well. But that was part of the beginning of the end, really, of Domingo Germán. He's now in the IL, hip flexor strain, and he's going to be there at least 10 days, and hopefully he'll be back soon and be the pitcher that he was expecting to be. But I will say this. I will throw out a nod of respect to the nephew of MLB Network's very own Dan Plesac, who pitched a gem of a ball game, 7 innings, 2 runs, pitched one hell of a game. So good for Zach Plesac, even though he pitched against the Yankees. I am rooting for that kid. So that's an unfortunate Game 1 to begin a series, a loss to Cleveland. On to Game 2, another loss. And another hard luck loss, because the Yankees had a 2-run lead in the first inning. It was 2-0. We had a nice ball game out of LeMahieu, 2 hits. Didi had another 2-hit game. Glaber with a hit, and Clint with a hit. And CeCe was pitching well to start the game. CeCe started the game pretty well. And then it all kind of fell apart. CeCe pitched 5 innings and 4 runs. Not conducive to a winning team. Yes, he's the 5. He's a good 5, but he's still a 5. And he just didn't hold it. CeCe's the kind of guy where you give him 5 innings, hopefully he can give up only 2 runs and keep a good ball game going. That's not what happened. Holder didn't make it any better. Holder gave up 3 runs in an inning, and Sessa gave up 1 run in 2 innings. While the Indians, Plutko, 6, gave up 2 runs. Ali Perez gave up 2 runs in 1/3 of an inning, so they hit him pretty well. But the Indians did their job. The Yankees did not. They didn't have timely hits, and they didn't pitch when they should be pitching. It's not conducive to winning baseball. I mean, I'm not sure what else I could say about that, because if you don't pitch or hit, you're not going to win ball games. It's just simple baseball. That's how it works. So, Yankees after the first inning really didn't do much. They did score 2 in the 7th, but it was all for naught as the Indians won that ball game 8-4. A pretty solid win for the Indians there. You really can't blame them. They're a good team playing worse than they should be playing. The Indians have a lot of guys on the injured list. Clevenger is coming off. They have their ace, Corey Kluber. Jose Ramirez hasn't played well. And Frankie Lindor was even hurt for a little bit. So they've had a bunch of guys not playing as they should be. And it's showing. They're only 33-31. At that point, they were 33-31, and they should be a better team, and I think they will be, honestly. And the Yankees will be. I mean, the Yankees were bound to lose a series. It's going to happen. They lost the first 2 games, so on to the third game of that series, which the Yankees won. A very close game. This is another example that the Yankees might need something at the trade deadline to help them facilitate a better season. Because they had, at one point, a 5-0 lead. And then the Indians scored 4 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. The Yankees even scored 1 in the 9th, and the Indians scored 1 in the 9th. So they tied the game at 6-6. So the Indians tied the game at 6 in the 9th inning. Thank God for Aaron Hicks in the 10th with a go-ahead double. It was a 7-6 win. And Stephen Tarpley with the save. Not Aroldis Chapman. Aroldis Chapman blew the save. Stephen Tarpley comes in and pitches a brilliant 9th inning and gives the Yankees the win. Now, some notable performances from that game. You have DJ, 2 hits. Luke Voit with 2 hits. Clint Frazier with 2 hits. Cameron Maben had 2 hits. So we had some good performances there. Gardy hit a home run, which I always love seeing. RBIs from Brett had 2, Voit had 2, Hicks, Frazier, LeMahieu. It's good to see Frazier back on track, because I kind of went deep in on Frazier last week because he loafing it in the outfield and his bat looked a little slow, but good to see Clint turn it around and have a good series in Cleveland. So I respect that out of Clint. So a good series overall. It's not the wins you want, but it's definitely, I wouldn't call it a failed series because, listen, the Yankees have won so many series in a row. They've won so many series this season consecutively, and I wouldn't call a 2-1 series loss to the Indians at all a failure. So that was a time in Cleveland. And they came home and they played the crosstown rival, New York Mets. The Mets and the Yankees. Now, I'm a huge fan of Yankee Met games, but I'm also a huge, I'm not even sure what I'd call myself, but I like them and I don't like them. For a few reasons. One, as a Yankee fan, we can't win. You cannot win a Subway Series if you're a Yankee fan. The Yankees are supposed to win against the Mets. If the Yankees sweep the Mets, it's like, oh, good, the Yankees are supposed to sweep the Mets. If the Yankees lose to the Mets, that's all we're going to hear for the next however long do we play them. So it's a lose-lose situation for Yankee fans, and as much as I kind of like seeing the Yankees beat their little brothers across town, it's an interesting series to go off of, but we'll go into the series. They got rained out on the 10th. It was supposed to be a 2-game set in 2 days, but there was a 2-game set in 1 day. So we'll go into game 1, which the Yankees won handedly, a 12-5 win. Yankees got out to an early lead. It was 1-0. But then the Mets stormed back. Home run from Jack McNeil. It was a 3-1. It was a 4-1 ball game at one point. Mets are up 4-1. Yankees made it 4-2 and never looked back. It was 7-4. Luke Voit hit a home run. Gary hit a home run. It was a very well played ball game. Hits from Hicks and Voit and Gary. Didi again, a multi-hit ball game. You had 3 hits from Morales. Urshela, 3 hits. Gardner, 2 hits. And I like what they're doing with Cameron Maben. Cameron Maben is the Yankees' answer to Clint Frazier. Clint Frazier will play right field if he's not DHing that day, which he should be DHing. And he plays out in right or left or wherever Clint's playing. And he comes for defense. It's smart. Cameron Maben honestly might be a guy you keep for the whole season. He was a minor league trade, which you really shouldn't be getting very excited over minor league trades, but still, he's got a great bat for average. I mean, he's got let me not call it great. He's got a good bat. He's serviceable. He can play left, right, center. He's fast. He can pinch run. And he knows what he's doing out there. His baseball instincts are phenomenal. So, Cameron Maben is a guy to keep around for a while. But yeah, Yankees won the ball game 12-5. A very well played ball game on all ends. Tanaka looked a little shaky. He did. So it's really not the best starting out of Tanaka. He gutted it out, though. He didn't have any sort of his good stuff, and he ended up going 6 2/3, giving up 4 earned runs. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 7. So Tanaka kind of proved that he can win without his A stuff, which, hey, it's the mark of a good pitcher. Winning without your A stuff, it really shows that regardless of how well he's pitching or what kind of feel he has on his pitches, he can still go out and give it his all, and the Yankees can win. Because we got to Wheeler. Wheeler gave up 9 runs, 5 of them earned, but 9 runs. We made light of the Mets' errors, and we really proved that this Yankee team could take advantage when they need to take advantage of errors. Because if the other team gives you outs, use them. You're a Major League Ball club. If the other team is going to give you a free pass, and you let that just sit by, and you don't use the error, then it's a waste. That's what good teams do. Good teams take advantage of those things. Good teams make sure that you capitalize on the chances you're given. And Yankees really proved that in the first game of the series. I had a very good time watching the game. It was a good old-fashioned rout. But game 2 proved to be a little less fruitful. Yankees lost that ball game 10-4. Early 3-0 lead for the Mets. Pete Alonso threw a home run off Paxton. The Mets made quick work of Paxton. And they got him out early, and they hit him hard. Giving him his 3rd loss of the season, a 10-4 ball game. Is not what you want to see out of the guy you traded for. I mean, his pitches looked flat, and Jason Vargas, who was having a terrible season up to this point, ended up pitching pretty well for the Mets. Paxton ended up going 2 2/3, giving up 6 earned runs, and Vargas ended up going 6, giving up 3 runs. So the lefty for New York that won that game was clearly Vargas, which I wouldn't have called going into that game. Would you? Jason Vargas, if I'm excited if we play Jason Vargas, because Jason Vargas was terrible. He was awful. His ERA was in the 13s at one point. And that wasn't after just one start. That was after like 4 or 5 starts. So I was excited going into that game. I believe in Paxton, but after Paxton didn't get much better because Chance Adams came in and gave up 3 runs, and a 10-4 ball game is what you had to say about it. Yankees ended up with a rough loss to a team that they probably should have beaten. The Mets are not very good. They should be better, but they're not very good right now. They should be a better team. And this is not a Met podcast. I'm not here to talk about the Mets. But Met fans, if you are listening to me at all, if I am sitting down walking with a Met fan, listen to me. Because you will have a better team. Syndergaard stuff is too good to be this bad. DeGrom has been hurt, but if he's healthy, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball, if not the best. Wheeler's got a live arm. If Vargas keeps pitching like this, then he'll be great. Or good enough. And you have some very solid hitters. Ramos has underperformed. Alonso's playing like Babe Ruth. Cano's hurt again. Lowry hopefully comes back. Rosario. I adore the bat of Jeff McNeil. And Conforto, I've always been a fan of. So you have a solid nucleus for a very good team. I don't know what's going wrong. I assume it's injuries and poor performance, but they can easily bounce back from that. And I predict the Mets to have a solid second half post All-Star break, because this team's too good to be this bad. It is. Just in contrast to how the Yankees are fielding a B team, and they're too, essentially, quote unquote, bad to be this good. The Mets are too good to be this bad. So I personally believe that they will pull it out, be an over 500 team. Also in some draft news, Yankees signed their number 1 overall pick, 30th overall in the draft, Anthony Volpe, shortstop out of out of New Jersey. He's now going to go to